Thruxton, the venue for the opening round of the MGF Cup for the year 2000. On pole position, car number 4, Alistair Lyle, the runner-up in the inaugural year of the championship, 1998, and a regular front-runner ever since. Long-time sparring partner Nick Carr starts alongside him in the number 3 machine, but in the pits, the man who should be third on the grid, Jamie Hunter, he's come in after the warm-up lap to change his tyres. That means David Mason in 18 is the sole representative on row 2 of the grid. Newcomer here is car number 42. It's the Australian Neil Cunningham, and in the last couple of years he's raced an 8-litre V10 Chrysler Viper. He should find the mid-engined MGF a considerably different proposition, and perhaps a wet Thruxton circuit not the best place to make the start in his MGF career. Well, the car's ready to go. Don't forget Jamie Hunter, who should be third on the grid, starting from the pits after that change of tyres. A severe vibration, presumably, from a set of tyres on the car as he left for the warm-up lap. He will have to start here at the back of the grid after everybody else has gone. The revs rise, they're ready to go. And after a long wait, away they do go. Alistair Lyle, Nick Carr battling for first. Good start in the orange car by Cunningham, but he gets hit by David Mason as he comes through from 5th to 3rd place. This is the nose spoiler camera on Neil Cunningham's car. Ahead of him in 2nd place is Nick Carr. Alistair Lyle is the race leader. Down to the chicane. Oh my goodness me, Cunningham is miles off on the grass. Spins clean across the complex. And for Susie Hart-Banks in the middle of the pack here, that may be a problem if he comes back on. He doesn't, but she gets banged by Vince Martin anyway as they rumble through the chicane for the first time. Susie raced in 1998 in the championship, back again in the year 2000 for some more MGF action. Well, Alistair Lyle leads now by a couple of car lengths from Nick Carr. Behind him in 3rd place is Brian Heary, who started in 6th on the grid. David Mason in 4th place. Everybody with the wipers on, trying desperately to pick their way through the spray. And Susie Hart's camera showing you just how bad that is. It's very difficult indeed to pick your way through when it's so dark. Well, there is Neil Cunningham, rejoined at the back of the field after that dreadful run through the first chicane. We ride with Alistair Lyle up Woodham Hill. There ahead of him were the grandstands watching the action at the club chicane, and it looks like the silver and red car of Brian Heary is the one they'll all be watching. Superb move, copybook stuff, down the inside of Nick Carr under braking, took away the inside line, holds it through the chicane, car goes down to 3rd. It's David Mason in 4th place, and it looks like the 29 car of Paul O'Neill had moved up into 5th. That's a good start from him, off 8th on the grid. Number 2 there is Jamie Hunter though. Don't forget, he started from the pit lane. We ride with him, just clipping the apex there as they go through Allard, and heading now down to Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, the right chicane section that goes out into the country. Well, Jamie Hunter making a great start from the pit lane. Obviously, whatever was wrong with the car in the first place that forced him to make that tyre change has been rectified. Replay here of the first lap, Alistair Lyle coming down to the chicane, and watch screen right as Neil Cunningham comes straight across his bows, having lost control and gone straight across the grass. And grass wet like this may as well be sheet ice. I wonder if the number 3 car of Nick Carr has got a problem. Twice in consecutive laps he's been passed around the outside of Brooklands, and then the move has been put to bed at the chicane. First by Brian Heary, and that lap there by number 18 David Mason. Jamie Hunter here working his way up through the field. He's gone past Paul Hughes. We ride now with the number 2 machine. Ahead of us is Susie Hart-Banks. Susie comes around the outside of Vince Martin, car number 16, the white and blue machine. Oh my goodness! And Jamie Hunter having to get very out of shape there to slow the car down. As Vince Martin gets onto the brakes, Susie Hart-Banks tried to drop in behind him. There was barely enough room, but good thinking by Jamie Hunter, avoiding contact. He certainly doesn't need any of that if he's to work his way back up the order. On board with Susie there through Campbell, Cobb, and in the middle of them, there she is, the silver machine. Red nose and the white stripe there. That is Jamie Hunter, last year's championship runner-up to the eventual champion Warren Hughes. Racing in the British GT Championship now is Warren Hughes. So Jamie Hunter picks up another spot then as the leaders continue ahead of him. Oh, and off goes his teammate in the 22 machine. That's Mark Ticehurst. The red and white car identical in livery to Jamie Hunter's, just facing the wrong direction. Riding again with Jamie Hunter. Now ahead of him is the 29 car of Paul O'Neill, the Gold Machine, trying to hold off last year's championship runner-up. Meanwhile, under pressure is race leader Alistair Lyle. Brian Heery started in 6th place on the grid and is now shooting for the lead. The 99 machine really swift indeed. And in fact, these two men have been battling each other not just for the 2 years of the MGF Cup, but before that in Rover Turbos as well. Long-time stalwarts of Rover Group Racing, both of them. They know each other well. I'm sure they've been in this situation more times than they'd care to remember. Alistair Lyle with Brian Heery going around the outside, and Heery now on the inside line, but can't use it because there was no racetrack there. They are pushing and rubbing each other all the way through. Brian Heery doing most of the pushing and rubbing, Alistair Lyle doing most of the defending. 3rd place is David Mason, watching it all and perhaps hoping that they will come a cropper, and that will give him the lead. Alistair Lyle drifting through the corners there as he comes out in the country through Noble and around the right-hander at Goodwood. This is very quick stuff indeed in the MGF Cup cars. It's the fastest circuit they'll visit all year by some considerable margin. Just on board again there with the number 2 machine of Jamie Hunter. There is the 42 car of Neil Cunningham. He's picking up places as well. And Paul Hughes gyrates there, goes off at the same place that Mark Ticehurst did. The unforgiving right-hander that's Goodwood. At the chicane, Paul O'Neill, the gold car, under pressure from Vince Martin, number 16. Oh my goodness me, and Barry Benham, number 20 there, the black and silver car, also getting in the mixture. Oh, dear me, Paul O'Neill defending rather over-adventurously there, nearly had Benham off. 2 wheels on the grass. Here they are again. And Barry Benham with his Johnny Herbert lookalike helmet, riding now with Susie Hart-Banks, catching that group. Barry Benham right ahead, the number 20 machine, trying to go to the inside to defend, but Susie Hart had a great run of speed there. She got past. Not quite sure how she's looking through this windscreen. It's covered in oil and really very smeary indeed. Sees the braking markers anyway for Campbell, the right-hander, and she goes out to take Cobb the next corner, trying to keep Benham behind her, and she doesn't quite succeed. Clinton Ogborn there, car number 81, also getting in the mix. So Susie Hart-Banks came out of the chicane really flying, got past Barry Benham, he's taken the place back. Clinton Ogborn there, and now the 42 machine of Neil Cunningham, also in that scrap. 2 and 3. Jamie Hunter ahead now of Nick Carr. That puts Jamie Hunter from starting in the pit lane, don't forget, up into 4th place. Leader Alistair Lyle comes towards us, the pale blue machine. Behind him in 2nd place is Brian Heery, number 99, second from 6th on the grid. And in 3rd place is David Mason. The battle behind then, Jamie Hunter now with the indicators on. Ahead of Nick Carr, they are 4th and 5th. And I think that Jamie Hunter will shake off Nick Carr and catch even further up the field on the tail of the man ahead of him, who's in 3rd place. That's David Mason. This battle continues as Susie Hart-Banks under braking gets around the outside of Barry Benham. Then it's Neil Cunningham there and Clinton Ogborn on the tail of that group. The white machine number 81 looking to make a move on the Australians' gold car. And here is the bumper cam again with Neil Cunningham. No sign of Ogborn. There he is. He had the inside line. Cunningham couldn't take it, and so he will have to try something under braking perhaps into the complex. Avoids getting onto the grass this time, and that really undid an excellent qualifying run from him. 5th in his first MGF grid lineup. Not bad at all. Alistair Lyle with this race firmly under control now that he's managed to shake off the advances of Brian Heery. Heery in 2nd place. 3rd place there was the yellow car of David Mason. And again with Susie Hart-Banks chasing Paul O'Neill and fighting off Barry Benham. And Benham is really trying very hard indeed to pick up that place and to hold on to it. This is a classic scrap here between equal machines. No quarter asked or given, and places changing all over the shop. So Benham goes around Susie Hart-Banks. Clinton Ogborn goes around the outside of him as they got to Church, and that's a pretty brave move through Brooklands. Well, if Barry Benham can hold on even slightly alongside there, he's got the inside line for braking, but he can't. So Clinton Ogborn takes the position away. And Susie Hart-Banks shuffled to the back of that pack. Paul O'Neill still out front in the 29 car. Oop, but very sideways in the chicane. And there is Susie Hart-Banks. Now she'll have to work hard again to pick up a toe and get up the order. Riding with Neil Cunningham, the Australian driver, looking as though he's heading for the pits. He is going into the pits. Maybe that first lap trip over the grass and the chicanes and the curbs didn't help him at all. Jamie Hunter now up into third place, passing David Mason as they came out of Church and through the long left-hander at Brooklands. He's right on the tail of the second place man, Brian Heery. Circuit commentator getting very excited indeed as Jamie Hunter now makes a challenge for second place. Hugs the pit wall, goes all the way around on the inside line. Now he's got the inside as they get to Allard. And at the chicane, Susie Hart-Banks rubbing doors with Clinton Ogborn, and he gets over the curbs. It's out of control. Around he goes, just stops before the barriers, but he's lost a place to Susie Hart-Banks and another place to Barry Benham in car number 20. Jamie Hunter now ahead of Brian Heery and just the race leader in front, Alistair Lyle. Well, he's led this from pole position since the start of the race. Jamie Hunter with plenty of work to do. There's about a second and a half between them on the road. And off in a massive manner goes Brian Heery. Huge accident for Brian Heery. Just looked as though he speared straight off the track into the barriers. And once he got off the road and onto the grass, the car will actually have picked up speed. There's even less friction on the grass than there is on wet tarmac. And that is a substantial thump. And Brian Heery would be very shaken after that. I shouldn't be at all surprised. Well, Alistair Lyle with Jamie Hunter running him down now. Time running out though for Jamie Hunter. This is a 20-minute race and there is not much time left at all. Probably just enough for one more lap. Replay there of Brian Heery going off. Look, all the wheels locked up and the car accelerating once it hits the grass. And that is a very nasty looking accident. We saw him walk away unscathed and he's very, I'm sure, shaken and bruised, but otherwise safe. Alistair Lyle defending hard at the chicane from Jamie Hunter. Hunter nearly rammed him from behind. He was coming up so quick and so late on the brakes. Lyle holds on once more and Jamie Hunter loses a bit of ground to Alistair Lyle. And the red lights are on. The red lights are on ahead of them there. And that means the race has been stopped. And hands out of the cockpit from the leaders to show that they're acknowledging that and slowing right down. Further around the circuit, red flags are also being thrown for the drivers and the race being stopped there because of that accident for Brian Heery. Well, there's only another couple of minutes left in the race, but Alistair Lyle takes it and wins it from Jamie Hunter in second place, David Mason in third. Nick Carr took fourth in the end ahead of Vince Martin and Susie Hart-Banks fighting up to sixth.